This it?
What you mean?
This all you did?
Yes. Can we just enjoy today? Like, why are you acting like that? Please don't.
Why you got fake roses? Like,
Yo, are we really not gonna do nothing? And he's looking at me like, you said you didn't want to do anything. I'm like, yo, men are really just that dumb. He's like,
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cafe Belmont. My name is James Belmont. Thank you for joining me. Today, I wanted to make a quick video and talk about something that I saw on Instagram, which has to do with couple communication specifically, and how a guy might interpret something that his girl might want him to do, especially if it was not clear. Quick overview before we get started. The video in question that inspired this video was a woman explaining something that happened in her relationship, and it has to do with Valentine's Day. She wanted to do something particular for that day, so she told her partner she didn't want to do anything, and throughout the day she saw her peers getting flowers, chocolate, things that are associated with the day in question, which is Valentine's Day, and she didn't receive anything.
for Valentine's Day, he blatantly asks me, what do you want to do? And I tell him, no, babe, I just want to stay home and, watch a movie with you. Nothing crazy. Let's not spend money, yada, yada, yada. I don't want nothing. He goes, you don't want nothing. I don't want nothing. What happened? He came home with nothing. He picks me up from work. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, he's at least going to have flowers for me in the car. Mind you, I don't give a shit about flowers, but it's just like the gesture, right? First, I thought he was going to send me flowers to my job. Okay. I'm waiting. All these other girls are getting flowers. I get nothing.
Yo, that's the most disappointing part.
As the day went on, she began to become more irritated because she didn't get anything, even though she told her partner that she didn't want to do anything for that day specifically. Keep this in mind. It all came to a head when her boyfriend went to sleep at the end of the day without doing anything at all. She confronted him and asked him why didn't he do anything, and he answered, because you told me that you did not want to do anything. Now, based on the information that she gave us, I believe any guy who is in a relationship and their partner told him that they didn't want to do anything particular, they would interpret it in a similar fashion. Now, there are exceptions. For example, special occasions like birthdays and anniversaries. It goes without saying that you have to do something for your partner, even if they didn't verbally say anything. These are for occasions like birthdays and so on. You don't need to tell them. It goes without saying. We also need to keep in mind the way that guys communicate, which is very literal. If you say something word for word, we're more than likely going to go with that interpretation, even though there might be a deeper meaning to it. And there's reasons for that. If I was told by my partner that they did not want to do anything special for that day, I would interpret it as they just want to relax on that day. Nothing crazy, nothing special, just relaxation and de-stressing. Let's pretend for a second that he went with the second option. There is always the risk that she literally meant what she said, that she didn't want to do anything. This reminds me of a show called You, where Joe, the main character, was planning a birthday party for his girlfriend Beck, but she told him she didn't want to do anything. Needless to say, it backfired in his face. And I think a lot of guys can relate to that feeling, because now you look foolish for trying to do something that makes her feel better on Valentine's Day. There's always the risk that comes with these things. So in light of that, we rather stick with the statement that was said rather than assuming something and be incorrect. But at the same time, I sort of understand where the ladies are coming from too. Sometimes they don't want to outright say what they want a guy to do. They want them to put in some effort. For example, when you're trying to be intimate with your partner and you don't want to outright say some of the things that you want them to do to you. This is a great example. You want them to pick up on some of the hints that you left behind and allow them to figure it out like a puzzle, something like that. For hints specifically, I don't think they're necessarily bad. Are they the best way of communicating what you want? No. I think it has its place and its usage in certain relationships. For example, in relationships where the couples know each other for a very long time, it can work for couples who have a very, let's say, symbiotic bond where they know each other very well, but for a shorter period of time. But for people, generally speaking, it works well for people who've known each other for a long time. Personally speaking, I do appreciate a little mind game myself. I like to try to figure out where her head is at in order for us to have a better time, rather than her outright telling me everything that she wants me to do to her. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I appreciate a little hint, whether it be verbal, body language, things like that. However, only do this if you know the person well. Do not do this with a stranger. Sometimes you do need clear communication. If they say stop, you stop and you leave. Everything that you do, the moment that she says stop, please stop and remove yourself. It's not worth it. The trouble that comes with it is not worth it. Just leave. Continuing on this trend, when it comes to Valentine's Day, I think they would want a surprise instead of telling you all of the details that would lead to that surprise. The main reason for this is because they would want to be surprised, and the gift is a little bit more thoughtful if they don't have to outright say that they wanted the gift. Does that make any sense? In some cases, I don't think it's necessarily the worst idea. For me especially, I appreciate a gift more when I didn't have to ask for it. The person who gave me the gift thought of giving me a gift, and me receiving it makes it more impactful. Just a side note, when it comes to Valentine's Day, for some reason, it is viewed as corny to buy your girl flowers and chocolate nowadays. I don't know the reason why this is the case specifically, but some men do think this way. Because of that reason, it can impact their decision to get you flowers or not. Sometimes, instead of flowers, they will probably take you out to a nice dinner or go to a place that you always wanted to go to but never got the chance to do so. So, the solution to this problem is understanding how your guy interprets certain things, and by doing that, you can phrase it in a way so that you can get the desired outcome that you want. It all comes down to understanding your partner. If he's a guy that does Valentine's Day, cool. If he's not the type to do something like that, that's fine too. It's just the way that they are. If it is a priority for you to do something on Valentine's Day, you need to communicate that to them. In that instance, you cannot use subtle hints. You need to tell him that you'd want to do something on Valentine's Day. By doing that, your communication will be better, and as a result, minimize misunderstandings that may lead to fights and inner turmoil. Instead of saying that I don't want anything for Valentine's Day, you could say nothing, literally nothing. And if it's within his personality to do something like that, he will get you the flowers or he will take you out on a date. Simple as that. We're not that complicated, lady. On the other hand, if he initiates and asks you, what do you want for Valentine's Day? More than likely, this means that he probably has some idea of what he wants to do, but he needs some more information to plan around the occasion. So he asks you for information. In that case, you could keep it simple and hint at flowers, hint at chocolate, dinner perhaps, and after that you could finish with, I'll leave it up to you to decide. Simple as that. Something like that could solve a lot of the problems. One more thing, and I think this is very, very important. Valentine's Day is for lovers, couples, not just one partner in the relationship, okay? For the past couple of years, it has been interpreted that the male in the relationship is supposed to spoil the woman in the relationship. But, crazy idea, I do believe that it is a little outdated, and both people in the relationship should be spoiled. So, all that to say, get your man some flowers. In conclusion, communication is a very important part of a relationship. Understanding how your partner interprets certain things can better your relationship and get the desired outcome that you would want when you desire something from your partner. This has been Cafe Belmont. My name is James Belmont. Thank you for joining me. Before I go, tell somebody in your life that you love them, and I will see you soon. Take care.